Yes, good evening. It's Nightline. Hello, Phil.
Yeah, hi, Bruce. Good to see you, folks.
Hello, 3AW Wangaratta and 2QN Beniliquin.
Yes, and those with us on digital DAB Plus phone apps or on the internet.
Yes, and every hour tonight, you'll have the chance to win a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination in Australia, thanks to Tiger Air flying from the new Terminal 4 at Melbourne International Airport.
Now, this is huge. You can choose from Adelaide, Brisbane, Cairns, Coffs Harbour, Darwin, Gold Coast, Hobart, Melbourne, Perth, Sydney, even the Whitsunday Coast.
And you're also in the draw for the major prize of a return airfare and a week's accommodation for a family at the Hotel Mercure Bali Legion, thanks to Tiger Air, who fly directly from Melbourne to Bali starting the 23rd of March.
Now, here's your chance. We're going to play a song, and we'll play it twice tonight. And when you hear the song, be first to ring us on 96900 693. This is the song.
I'm a tiger, 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 I'm a tiger.
Okay, but not now, but later this hour when you hear that song. A grab from, I think, Lulu had the hit.
Yes, a Scottish songbird from years ago, from the 1960s.
Right.
So, folks, twice tonight you'll get the chance to win one of these interstate trips with Tiger Air.
And then you go into the draw for any interstate trip, and the major prize, a week's accommodation for family at the Hotel Mercure Bali Legion, thanks to Tiger Air.
I've been to their new Terminal 4. It's wonderful. It's like being Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris.
I've been at the Hotel Mercure Bali Legion, and it is just as good.
But how generous Tiger Air say you can fly anywhere in Australia you want to go, including even Darwin or Perth.
Okay, now we've got Patti in tonight, which is a real treat. In the meantime, to Jason, who's called us from Ashwood.
Hi, Jason. Welcome to Nightline.
Good evening, gentlemen. I rang up last night and got disconnected at about 11:30. I never got to give my details to collect my ham.
Oh, didn't you?
Okay, we'll put you back to Bianca for that.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Just hold the line. Be patient. Bianca will be with you as soon as she can.
All right. Sorry about that, Jason.
That's okay, Jason. Thank you for calling. 10 past 10, 3AW. What's the expression, Phil? It's neither a dearth nor a famine. What is it?
It's either a feast or a famine, Bruce.
Well, it's a feast tonight.
Oh, yeah, we have all our celebrities
Yes.
back. Let's say hello to them one by one. Patti, welcome
Oh,
back.
hello, boys. Look, I just could not keep away.
Why?
Well, I didn't think I'd miss you,
Oh,
to
there
be
you
really
are.
honest with you.
Oh, you
Yeah.
lovely
I didn't
thing.
think I'd miss you, and I did. And I think it's just that purpose. It's just, I don't know, putting on a bit of lippy and having to come in and, you know, see you.
Well,
And
that's what Peter Hitchener does every night.
I do it all the time.
Well, I just thought, you know, after 20 years of coming in and going out, it was too much not to come in and wish you a happy new year.
It's beautiful for
and
you to
see
do that.
you. I was thrilled. I was thrilled to come in and say hello and find out all the goss.
Well,
I missed it all.
We're beaming up just behind you across the bridge separating Channel 9 and 3AW. Look, in the Velcro clad, it's the newsreader, Peter Hitchener. Hello.
Nightline with Bruce and Phil.
Peter, welcome to you.
Thank
we
you very
haven't
much.
seen you for a while
No,
either.
Happy New Year to you both, and how lovely it is to see Patti here, looking as though she's about to do a television show.
Always does. Always looks
It
like that.
looks $100 million, and don't you love hearing that song? I've heard it for years here on your show, introducing Patti. Dear little thing, you must have been about 12 or something at the time.
I know. Just a few years ago.
I can see a lounge room of aunties. Patti, do that song.
Get your top hat and tails out,
Yes,
Dales.
come on, Dal, and do a soft shoe shuffle for us,
That's
will you?
right. Well,
She's
you
on
know,
Channel 9 with Kennedy.
It was so funny when we all got the boot, and you know it was all going later. I thought, oh, I'll have a tune in and I'll listen, and I listened to the first week, and I heard Peter Hitchener there, and I thought, how come he got to stay?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that's a bit much.
Well,
But anyway, now we're both
I
here.
pop in on the way through between the middle news and the late news, so I get to see the boys.
That's right.
He
Whenever
only
I can.
pops in, you know, because he has his full slap on and
Yes,
the hair
yes,
done.
that's right.
And Bert always keeps saying, why can't you do my hair like Peter Hitchener does his?
They torture mine into
looks
shape.
wonderful.
And mine is actually, of course, classified by the National National Trust, and number 2, so if her hair accidentally fell out, it'll be put back in straight. Told her stay there.
Do you know what we did? You know how, remember on GMA, Bert used to have little bits of hair that they'd stick in. Like he had a hairpiece, but the extra bits were stuck in. And, you know, every now and then he'd do a gag and he'd pull a bit of hair out and give it to someone. And one day he pulled out quite a bit of hair and he gave it to someone and they kept it. And they put it on eBay and, you know, it's sold for $30,000.
Good heavens.
It went to a charity.
Yeah,
it went to it. But isn't that amazing? So, Peter, don't throw any of your hair away.
No, I'm trying to hang on to what's left.
30,000 for a charity.
That's wonderful.
Me.
I mean,
Patti, please.
Bert Newton was the very first person in Melbourne that had the transplant, as I recall.
well,
If it wasn't Harry Beitzel, it certainly was Bert.
I think it was Peter Smith.
Oh, was it?
I think it was
lovely
Peter
Peter
Smith
Smith.
that told Bert, and then Bert went and, you know, there were a few other people going. I won't mention any names
No.
because they like to keep it secret. But they used to go in with the collar up and the hat on and incognito, you know. But Bert didn't make a secret of it, and he was on the front page of the newspaper.
Yes, he was.
With all the bandages, you
Yes,
know,
yes, right.
looking like St Joseph's nun, really, with that veil.
That's right, I remember that.
And
Was
the
that on Listener in... Or
No, it
one
was
of
on the
those?
Herald
Oh,
Sun.
the Herald Sun, that's right.
And Lauren was only a very, very little girl,
She'd
and
have hated it.
she hated it. But you see, now it's so easy for people because they don't have to go through all that sort of pain, and they do it so beautifully. It's almost like microsurgery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas in those days, they used to take a little plug out where the hair was growing at the back, take a bald bit out, stick the plug with the hair roots in it where the bald bit was, and boom, you'd get hair.
And pump you full of Valium.
And
And
yes,
sometimes the transplants worked and sometimes they didn't.
And really,
for some
Patti,
people.
but before the transplant, there weren't that many Irish jigs, were there?
well, they were...
Wigs, I'm talking about.
Yes, yes.
Looking straight at Peter Hitchener.
Here comes the rhyming slang.
No, there were, but they were very bad ones. There were a few good ones. I think Bob Dyer had a good
What
one.
do you think?
Well,
Sinatra had a beauty.
do you think he had a shocker?
Why?
We only
Vile.
talked about that.
Oh,
Look,
yes, Sinatra wore a wig.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah, but
but it was a
dreadful.
dreadful one.
Oh, he had a different one for every night.
Oh, so it might have been too. It was
See,
worse.
John Travolta has a different hairpiece for all different types of occasions. Sometimes he looks very dark. Sometimes he
does.
looks like he's got a little bit of hair. Sometimes he looks like he's got a lot of hair. In fact, I don't think he's got much at all. But they're beautifully done. You know, they're very... The ones they do here aren't quite as discreet. You know, Bert's got a little bit of gauze that goes around. You've got to stick it on. Now, if you get into the wrong light, it's very obvious and very shiny. But it's funny, the last, few months, Bert and I have been out quite a bit. We've been to all the openings of the shows, you know, Cats and Wicked and, you know, Georgia
The
Girl, all
Seekers,
that.
yeah.
And I shaved Bert's head. So I said, Bert, you know, I think your head looks really good. He's got a big head, but it's a good shaped head. So I said, don't wear your wig. Don't wear your hairpiece. He doesn't like the word wig, but you don't wear your hairpiece. I think it's more today not to wear it. But unfortunately, there's been such a lot made of it that now Bert keeps blaming me and saying, oh, I wish you hadn't told me not to wear that hairpiece, you know. So, but it's a bit late now, so I don't think he's going to wear it.
But the thing is, Willard Scott, if you remember on television, the weatherman on one of the Today shows in America would sometimes wear his
That's right.
hairpiece and then sometimes show up with absolutely no
No
hair
hair.
on at all.
I love that.
Nobody seemed to mind.
Well, see, Bert never wore it at any time socially or, you know, during the day or in theatre, but he did when he went on telly, only because he thinks he's got a big head and it, you know, it looks a bit nicer. I don't know if it does. He'd like to have it looking like yours.
Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with having a big head. I most certainly have been blessed with one.
Well, you
And-
could have been his son. You know that, don't
yes.
you?
Oh, isn't that wonderful? It's a lovely thought, I
And
must say.
a son that's, getting
I was going to say,
getting to the
Getting older.
right royal age.
Yes, my 1 month's time or thereabouts, I'll be turning 70 and...
Yes, he changed. Now listen to me,
No.
Patti, Phil. Has he changed since 1975 or 6?
He has not
Oh, that's sweet.
changed.
You look
That's
like you
sweet.
did when you compared Gambit.
Gambit, a game of skill, fate and fortune. You have the knowledge, you know the odds. All the rest is in the cards.
That's it.
Yes, I remember
It's
it.
an audition.
You are a bit like Bert, where the only change is sometimes your face is fuller when you've had
Yes.
a few social engagements.
Yes.
Then you lose it, and it goes back to being very slight.
Yeah.
I have never been very slight in my life, but thank you, dear.
But
You're
see,
lovely.
I'm looking at you, Peter, and I mean, I'm even looking at your eyebrows, thinking they're done so well.
Yes,
I'm
they've
going
been
to snip
coloured in.
Bert's like that. I hope he's
Oh,
not
it's funny
listening. He'll
stuff.
kill me.
Peter, how do you plan to celebrate your 70th birthday?
Oh, look, I don't know. I think no,
you've got to do
just a day
something.
like any other. We might have sandwiches in the newsroom at lunchtime or
You
something.
won't get us something more than that.
Oh, please come in that night. We'll organise
Oh, yes.
scones,
Oh,
jam and cream.
What are we going to do?
I'll cater- I'll
Scones,
have
jam
a-
and...
We'll sing happy birthday.
Well, don't expect anyone in for that.
I'll cater it from pancake bar or
Oh,
something.
no, thanks.
It'll be
What date?
contra. It will be contra,
Oh,
though.
yes, it will be.
What date are you, Peter?
21st of Feb.
Oh, right.
I'm the 4th of Feb.
Oh, you dear lovely
But
thing.
I'm not 70. I'm 71. Oh, no. Isn't that terrible?
You would
Absolutely
never,
glorious. You would never know.
You would never
Well,
have.
see-
You would never have broadcast that one.
I never. But you know why? I'm on Facebook now. When radio finished, I was talking to the lady that sometimes gets me jobs here and there, and she said, "You've got to do something. Go on Facebook or Instagram." So I did, and I got all these people. I think in one day I got 1,000 friends,
Crikey.
and then they cut me off. And then I started up again because I thought that's stupid. I think they thought I was a terrorist or something because they all overseas people, and I don't know how they get you. I don't know much about it, but I'm on that now, and I love it. It's great.
Hey,
Patti, after today, no nudies.
Oh, yes. Oh, very
Please.
much
Oh,
so. You and those
so-
Collingwood
I
football.
know.
If you
Oh,
don't mind, how
Oh.
bad
Aren't they
taste.
silly?
Idiots.
Well, actually,
would
I
you
think
do it?
Eddie probably said it properly, didn't he?
I think he said
I
it
mean,
well.
The thing is, in this day and age, you know, with social media and Instagram and selfies, I mean, we might all do a selfie tonight.
Would you do a selfie for me tonight?
Well, we'll all do a selfie
Starkers.
together.
Do one together.
No, not Starkers. no, we'll all stand and look dignified.
Hey, do you know, while you've been talking, I've worked out that our combined ages is almost 290.
Well, I think that's
what?
marvellous. I think that's wonderful. Well played. So that makes you 21. The rest
76.
of us 300. Are you 76?
I'm a senior citizen here, yeah.
Oh, well played.
Absolutely.
It's
good
funny, you
work.
know, I keep saying you could be Bert's son. Bert would have been 7 when he had you.
Exactly.
He would have too.
Oh, dear. He was a scallywag,
Oh,
wasn't
he's
he?
a devil, that little Bertie boy.
That's lovely. Hey, listen, I'm going to have to nick off and
Oh,
do the
don't
late
go.
news. Oh, dear heart, it's lovely
Please.
seeing you. It's lovely seeing Bruce and Philip. And Patti, oh, what a joy to see you. Have a lovely night. And if you don't mind, we'll meet again.
Let's do it, please.
Lovely.
You were
Thank
sadly missed.
Thank you so much. It's marvellous to see you
come
all.
back more
Can
often.
I take a photograph of us
I think
and
we
put
should
it on
have a
Facebook?
selfie.
Yeah, why not?
When
Why
we
not?
get to a
Yes.
commercial break.
Okay,
or
great.
I'm not sure if we're doing commercial breaks because
Yes,
we're
we are.
online.
We
What's
are.
a commercial break? Something quite new and
I thought it was just a very vogue way of saying
Yeah.
Let's have an ad.
some ads.
Now that he's 70, we'll take a commercial break and we'll be back with the weather. Won't we, Lavinia?
Yes.
Patti, I see your list of topics here and fall jumps out at me.
Would you believe it's got to be me or old age or something? But the weather has been very up and down,
Oh,
as you
yes.
know.
Oh.
And we have had like lots of hot days, and then we had a cold day, and the kids wanted to go to McDonald's. So I said to Bert, "Come on, let's get in the car. We'll take the grandkids through McDonald's. We'll just go through drive-through." And they said, "Oh, please, can we go in and have a look at the top?" You know, they've got those games that
Jumping
they play
castles,
on,
yeah,
all
yeah.
of those things. So we went in, and all of a sudden the heavens opened,
Yes.
and it was pouring, and it started to ease a bit. So I said, "Come on, let's make a run for it." While the weather has eased a bit, Bert was in the car. I had his Big Mac in the bag, so I grabbed the 3 kids, and I've got their hands, and off I go, and I slipped on as I was going down the concrete, slipped, fell flat on the bottom, and couldn't get up. A very kind man came over and helped me up. I pulled the kids down with me, and they're all going, "Oh, please, Nana, get up! Don't stay there." So the next day, I had to go and have X-rays because I thought I'd broken something. I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit down, I couldn't do anything. So I just got the results back today, and I haven't broken anything, but I'm black and blue, and I've bruised all the coccyx, you know.
But that was probably the best place to land, on your backside.
I guess so. I was lucky. I was thinking about it. I was lucky that I wasn't like you and sort of fell to the side, because I think I would have got my hip.
You could
and
have
I
so
could have
easily.
broken that. But
Yes.
don't things happen easily?
Oh, don't they?
And of course, with Lauren, with only several weeks to go for her baby, the last thing I need would be to be, you know, in bed,
Not
and
available.
not hanging around and looking after the kids. I had a friend, you know, Lillian. I think you both know Lillian, my
Yes.
friend.
Oh, yes.
She went she was taking some flowers into her friend, opened this gate, slipped on something, fell down, and she actually did break her back. And she was in traction for about 8 weeks or, you know, many months, and it took her so long, and even today, you know, she still has aches and pains
Yeah.
because of it.
Yes.
So I think, you know, I was pretty lucky, really. And I went to our friend today, Dave, you know,
In,
the
Kew.
physio help, and he was wonderful, gave me acupuncture in it, so that's helped a little bit.
Oh,
so
good,
I'm not in
good.
too much pain, but I was thinking, so easy for things to happen.
It happened. Now, tell us, it's a bit belated, but tell us about your Christmas, your family Christmas.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, we had a fabulous time, as we always do. We go to Silks at Crown and had a beautiful... we have a little room where we all go, and each year there's an extra one of us, it seems. You know, we're getting bigger and bigger. And it was lovely. I mean, Christmas, even though I suppose everybody thinks it's got to be traditional, our tradition now has become, we have Chinese food on Christmas Day.
Beautiful.
And then we go home and have Jackie Smith's pudding and custard and cream, and have the old traditional type
that's
sweet.
lovely,
So
lovely.
we had a lovely time. Did you have a good time?
I was in hospital, thanks. I was in Epworth
Yes, now.
with chronic bronchitis. I thought you'd come to visit me.
I didn't even know you were in.
I was only there 48 hours.
Wow.
But on Christmas Day, I actually sat on my bed with my legs dangling, eating Christmas dinner on my own.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was, poor Bruce, he was without me on and off for a couple of weeks for carols by candlelight and everything.
Yeah.
I just, chronic bronchitis, I was choking, I couldn't breathe. It was like being an asthmatic. I think I also had a touch of pneumonia.
Wow. And you're still smoking, I guess.
Oh, I've cut down,
Yes,
Bruce, haven't
you
I?
are.
I've cut down.
Yes, about 4 on the way in.
Don't. Well, you look as though you've lost a bit of weight,
No,
I
I'm putting
must
it back
say.
on again. I'm
Are
eating
you?
3 meals a day.
Well, I think Bert might have put whatever you've lost, he's gained.
And I'm under a nutritionist who's got me on Alvera oil and all sorts of capsules. I take
good
about
on you.
10 pills a day. I'm great.
And
Thank
what
you.
about you, Bruce?
Yeah,
How are
going
you
well,
feeling?
very well.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Never felt better.
Yeah?
Wonderful.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yes.
Well, there you go. See, we all have
We're
ups and
survivors,
downs,
yeah.
but we're here. That's the main
And
thing.
we're here for each other.
Now,
certainly are.
Listen, okay. Here's your chance to win 96900 693. Perhaps if you haven't won anything for a long time, you might like to win to ring us now, Phil.
Yes, do that. And if you're first in, you'll have a choice of going anywhere in Australia with Tiger Air, a double return ticket to maybe Darwin, the Gold Coast, Perth, Sydney, even the Whitsunday Coast.
Okay, the number 8. Oh, yeah, it's a special line. It's a special number. 8667 3601. That's the Tiger line. 8667 3601.
It's already 26 to 11, and while we wait for the call, what's been happening at Studio 10?
Oh, well, big changes. Do you know, it's funny, over the Christmas break, I don't know, do you watch much morning telly? I suppose you're resting.
No, not a lot.
Yeah, well, I do, because I love it. I think it's probably from the old days when Bert was on. I got used to watching morning telly. But I I think it spoils it by having summer series, and Studio 10 don't do that.
Ah.
And I think they're very wise
Yes.
because you do tend to turn on because you know if something hits, if something new has happened, you're going to hear it. You're going to be listening to
Of
it.
course you are.
And Denise Drysdale has just joined them.
A couple of times or once a week or something?
Well, I think Ita, I mean, I love Ita on it. I thought she might have been a bit grand when she first started.
Yes.
But I think you need someone like that.
Yes.
But, you know, with commitments, with grandchildren and other things she has to do, I don't think she wanted to do the 5 days a week. So now Denise is doing 3 days a week and
Yes.
Ita's doing the rest.
Terrific,
So they're alternating. So I think that's
Very
really,
good, good.
yeah, it's a great job for Denise because she's good on it. And I love the way they have a new panellist, and that makes it a bit interesting, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing they've been doing is with Craig Bennett, they have been revisiting a bit like GMA used to. You know, you'd have people on, like you'd have you two on, and you'd have a laugh, and you'd just talk about everyday things and things that were happening. And I mean, Burke could never work with you, Bruce, because
No. Oh,
he could only look at you and laugh.
Absolute impossibility.
But it was great, you know, and it's infectious.
Of course it is.
So Craig has been doing interviews with people like John Michael Housen and baby John Burgess,
Right,
and
yes.
you know, all the old people, or not old people, but all the people that we used to see on television a lot and haven't seen for a while. We've now got to find out a little bit about them, and
Good.
it's been fabulous.
That's great.
Yeah, so I think it's really working. It might give the others a bit of a run for their money, I think.
All right, now we're calling our first caller is Sophie at Eltham. Sophie, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Sophie, congratulations.
Oh, you're joking, are you?
No, you've won a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination in Australia, thanks to Tiger Air flying from the new Terminal 4 at Melbourne International Airport.
And now, where would you like to go,
How's that,
Sophie?
Sophie?
I've always wanted to go to Darwin. Do they go to Darwin?
Yes, you can.
Oh, well, you can go anywhere you like. Adelaide, Brisbane, Cairns, Coffs Harbour, Darwin, Gold Coast, Hobart, Melbourne, Perth, Sydney.
3rd of March.
Congratulations, Sophie. Now, hold the line, if you will. Don't hang up. But you have a wonderful trip on Tiger Air.
Thank you so much.
Good on you. We'll do it again in the next hour, Bruce.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
See, I love it when you know that they're genuinely excited and thrilled about it. And she'll have where they were suggesting all these people, and I think Kerry Armstrong was suggested.
Yes.
See, now Kerry would be okay because she's pretty game to do everything.
Yes, she would.
Tanya Zayeta. You
Yes.
know, the girl that I was in Celebrity Apprentice
She'd
with.
be all right.
See, she'd be okay because she's got a huge following with Bollywood because she's done all sorts of things in Bollywood movies, and she's got a big following on the internet, so that's another big thing. I don't know. They're also talking about Frivola, Brendan Frivola. I
Yes.
reckon he's a certainty myself.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Outgoing enough?
I think-
Extrovert?
Well, I think they were saying there was Shane Crawford, they suggested, Sam Newman, Brendan, Ben Cousins, Wayne Carey.
Yes.
And out of all of them, I think Brendan would be the one that would
Do
want
you
it.
really? Oh.
Well, you know, it's really tough. I was asked again this year.
Are we?
And I know Denise was asked, and there's a big rumour that Denise will do it, but I don't think she will personally. Not with just signing up with Channel 10 with
morning
Studio,
cricket.
with Studio 10. But I reckon it'd be great for Brendan because he's got a few issues, and you cannot drink, you can't eat chocolate, you know, you're not welcome to sort of take your own medications and things like that, like your vitamins and things. You have to only have a tiny bit of rice and I think a little bit of fruit or something. That's about all.
Stand it.
And you know, like you might have to eat an eyeball of an elephant
of a crocodile,
or something,
or another person.
No thanks.
I couldn't do that.
But what the first series had was the accidental meeting.
I
The
know.
accidental meeting of all those wonderful people. The woman from the Brady bunch, along
Exactly.
with Chrissy High. What's her name?
Chrissy Swan.
All accidental, but wonderful characters.
See, and I think then we didn't know what to expect.
No, neither did they.
No, they didn't. But now we do know what to expect, and so do the people going into it.
Yes.
So it will be different, but they usually have a glamour girl, a handsome hunk, you know, well-built, good-looking bloke, and I think they've got a couple of DJs on.
I'm a bit sad that Julia, what's her name?
Julia Morris?
Morris is not sort of included a bit.
Oh, she is.
Is she?
Yes.
I thought
Julia.
her name, everyone's name was mentioned except hers.
Oh no, Julia and the doctor, Dr. Chris.
Well, I think they're wonderful.
They're hosting it.
Good.
And I think they're fabulous. I had a message from Julia for the Christmas, and she said her husband bought her this very sort of, it's sort of red and outgoing and old-fashioned, bought her this new car for Christmas, so she bought him a
We also have all the latest on the Crib Point fires, and residents were given just 12 minutes from being told there's a fire in the area, but you don't need to worry to get in your house and bunker down because it's coming at you and it's too late to leave. So we have all the latest on that. And apparently there's a town meeting going on right now, so we're getting all the latest from there as well. And then inside we have all the latest on the Collingwood players' sext furor. I think that's how you say it.
Sexting.
Sexting. I don't know the terms that the young kids are using. I'm sure you guys are more up with it than
Yeah,
I am.
Oh, yes, very much so. Oh, yes. Oh.
Yeah, Kate,
Get down
don't
with the FOMO and the YOLOs. And all that
don't
sort
go
of thing.
near it, will you? Sexting, Kate. Promise me,
No,
promise me.
I've been married too long for that sort of nonsense.
Okay, and you've got the lift out taste tomorrow, I think, in there or
We
something.
do, and we also have a 16-page special supplement to coincide with the tertiary offers for 2016. So there's a lot of really useful information in there.
All
Every
right.
student should get a copy.
Good. Okay, Kate, thank you very much. That's the Herald Sun in the morning.
And there's good news. We're back on AM 693, so welcome to all of you. And you've been listening to the cricket. And our special guest tonight, a surprise guest, the return of Patti.
Now, Patti takes us to a party where everything hangs out. We've got Patti with us, and Patti's off to a big party where all will be revealed.
Right, yes.
Tell us. Yeah.
Well, it's over, actually, and it was a very special party. Bert and I don't go to many parties. I don't know. You a party person?
No, not especially. I
No.
can't be bothered with small talk.
And
Well, what are you doing in here, then?
well, I must say, Bert has a huge love for this man, and he was turning 70, and we were invited to the party, but it sounded like it might have been, you know, lots of music and loud, and Bert said, I don't know, is it our scene? I'm just wondering, even though I love Sam Newman, and I'd love to be there for him, but I'm not sure whether this will work. So I rang his PA and I said, look, this is the thing, can we just pop in and then go? Because Bert's not really into sort of loud music. And she said, this is Sam. It won't be like that. It's nothing to do with that. And I have to say, it was, out of all the parties I've ever been to, it was the best party Bert and I have ever been to. Now, that's a big statement. It was beautifully done. There was a red carpet. When you got inside, we had a fabulous table. We were seated with wonderful people. Not a lot of celebrities there, but a lot of footy people and a lot of his family. But it was just lovely, and we love Sam, and I love him for all the right reasons.
Yeah, of course.
And he was, he made a speech, and it was very funny. And we were sitting next to Eddie Maguire and Carla, and then Molly. And it was just a lovely gathering.
In his home?
No, it was at I forget where it was, South
Doesn't matter.
Bank, one of those warehouses that cater for fabulous parties. And it was just terrific. And Sam, I don't know if you know, is a huge, huge fan of Frank Sinatra, as we were talking about. And he showed a few clips of his favourite bits of Frank Sinatra, which were fabulous. And there was one with Richard Burton doing a tribute to Frank.
Oh, it is
and
magnificent.
it was just breathtaking.
Oh, it is superb.
And so Eddie Maguire got up and did a speech, and he didn't know he was going to do it. And I have to say, out of everyone I've heard do ad-lib speeches, he takes the cake.
Fabulous.
He was wonderful.
Goodness.
He mentioned everyone in the room and gave a little story about them. And then at the end of and it was a proper, like, Christmas dinner. It was, you know, like your seafood cocktail and your Christmas dinner with turkey and then plum pudding. And then, as a tribute, you turned around and the curtains opened with a full orchestra, and Tom Burlinson came out and sang all the Frank Sinatra songs.
Magnificent.
It was the best night. Just fabulous.
Oh, what a wonderful night.
We absolutely loved it. And then, because Sam didn't want anyone driving home if they'd had a few drinks or whatever, he organised that you could, you know, you'd be driven home. So we gave him our address and he said, fine, everything will be great. So at the end of the evening, Bert said, I think we'll go now. And we walk out, and not individual cars, but there were about 6 Hummers. You know, those great big Hummers?
Yeah.
There was, I think we were in a hot pink one. So it's our Sam's birthday tomorrow.
Right.
And so what we did, we phoned up Mr. Hummer, and we're taking just all of our family and Sam and a couple of mates. We're taking us all for a trip in the Hummer. It's just going to be lovely.
The pink Hummer, won't that be
No,
nice?
a black one.
Oh,
we're
black
in.
one tomorrow.
Yes.
Well, it's my Sophia's birthday, and I'm going to treat them to, I think, an elfin party.
You are. You're going to Fairyfield.
Yes, I
and
am.
I'm coming with my
You'll
2 grandchildren.
Be there and very welcome too. I can't promise a Sam Newman birthday party.
Will you be singing
I'll be
Frank
there
Sinatra?
with a Hummer.
Hi,
We've got Patti for a few more minutes and into 11 o'clock, which I'm thrilled about. But just movie jumps out of your scorecard here.
You know, I was thinking of you because in the days when we did GMA, of course, it was a very advertorial-based show.
Yes.
And so we're very into that, and we know a lot of how it works. And Bert and I went to see this movie called Joy.
Oh, yes.
And that's what it's all about.
I love that.
And I think you'd really enjoy it.
He would love it.
What about you? Would you
Hey,
enjoy
is
it?
she the lady who invented squeezy mops?
Yeah.
It's right up his alley. It's
I know.
his world.
We loved it.
Oh, he'd love it.
Jennifer Lawrence, and she's fabulous in it. And the other one was The Dressmaker.
Oh, apparently, everyone loves it.
I loved it. I loved it. And I
Did
think
Bert
was-
like it?
Yes, he loved it.
Oh,
Well, you know, you're seeing a lot of familiar faces,
Yes,
you know,
of course.
which is good. But there aren't a lot of movies happening at the moment that
No.
I'm really...
Well, it's school holidays, that's why.
Carol, that's one that I want to see.
Yes.
That's the one with Kate
Yeah.
Blanchett.
Blanchett,
But that
yeah.
Joy, I do want to see that.
Yeah,
I
do
think
that,
I would
'cause you'd love it.
I would love
Watch
that.
out about Carol. It's about lesbian
It's
lovers.
about-
Can
it's
you
about-
cope with that?
Oh, yes. Of course I can.
Have you met any?
Hello again. This is John Doremus with the Passing Parade, the story of a fantastic theory, which gained great support in the first half of the 19th century to the effect that the world was hollow. John Cleves Sims, inventor of the hollow world theory, caused a great deal of trouble, even after his death. I'll be back after this message. John Cleves Sims was born in Sussex County, New Jersey on November 5th, 1780. A fiery youth, he enlisted in the Army at 22, rose to the rank of ensign, and became a notorious figure at Mississippi's Natchez Garrison. When he left the Army, he was in his late 30s, and he put his mind to finding a quick way to fame and fortune. Among other things, he studied the stars through a telescope and drew up his own charts of the heavens. After examining various planets, Sims came to the conclusion that they were hollow. Just how he reached that conclusion, nobody knows, but it became an obsession with him. He then made the startling announcement that the Earth itself was hollow, and that the center could be reached through fissures in the ice at the North and South Poles. He wasn't the first to put forward a similar theory. Plato had it that the Earth contained passages both broad and narrow, and huge subterranean streams. And in 1692, the famed astronomer royal Sir Edmund Halley had told Royal Society members that there was a hole in the middle of the Earth where planets revolved. These accounts inspired Sims no end. So much so, in fact, that he wrote a book. In 1818, he mailed hundreds of copies of a circular to some of Europe's leading scientists and America's university presidents. In it, he declared that the Earth was hollow and habitable, containing a number of solid concentric spheres, one within the other, to which there was access at each pole. Immediately, scientific bodies received the missive. They flew into an uproar. The French Academy scorned the notion, while British scientists refused to commit themselves, and Russian scientific organizations hailed Sims as a genius. In America, the hollow earth theory began to win support too. After lecturing in most parts of the country, Sims crossed the border into Canada, where he scored further success. He described the interior of the world as a utopia, where physically perfect human beings lived in sublime conditions. In 1822, with the hollow world fever at its height, President Adams agreed to equip full-scale expeditions to the North and South Poles in search of the entrances to the inner world. Before the expeditions could be fitted out, however, Adams was voted out of office and supplanted by Andrew Jackson, who ridiculed the entire project. In May of 1829, while lecturing in Canada, Sims contracted pneumonia and died. But the hollow earth mania showed no signs of abating, and 6 months later, the first fully equipped expedition to search for the Earth's center sailed from New York, backed by private finance. It was a disaster that ended in mutiny and murder. Yet Sims' theory died hard. For years, novels and even scientific works appeared with glowing and graphic accounts of the world within. Our time is up till we meet again for another chapter in the Passing Parade. This is John Doremus, and goodbye for now.
Stuart, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Bruce and Phil, and Patti, I believe.
Yes, she's here
Hello,
too.
how are you?
And what a lovely, lovely day.
Yeah, a bit on the warm side. It got as high as 38 degrees at Laverton. That was about the highest around the metropolitan area. Got to 35 in the city just before 5 o'clock, so a bit warm, but that cooler breeze came through this evening, which was most welcome.
Okay, how's tomorrow looking, Dean?
It looks like another hot one in the outer suburbs of Melbourne, so we're looking at temperatures around that 36, 37 around Tullamarine, Yarra Glen. A bit cooler in the city, 32 degrees in the city, and just 27 down on Frankston Beach. So those bayside suburbs getting that cooler southerly breeze, but it will take a while before it pushes right into those northern suburbs. Dry conditions, a little bit of patchy high cloud, but remaining dry.
And tonight's overnight low, please?
A low of 17, so we're currently sitting on 21 at the moment.
Okay.
So a low of 17, top of 32, and a dry day.
That's correct.
All right.
More of the same on Wednesday, perhaps?
A little bit cooler, so I guess more favourable for those playing tennis. You get the odd racket out, do you, Phil? Have a hit?
No, I prefer to hear it on 3AW, Dean.
All right, yeah. Well, 25 degrees on Wednesday. It looks like there'll be 1 or 2 showers around in the morning, but a dry afternoon. Thursday and Friday, still temperatures around those mid-20s, 27 Thursday, 25 on Friday. I think it will become a bit more humid with the chance of some shower and storm activity, particularly on the Friday. And then the weekend, nothing too extreme, 24 on both Saturday and Sunday, just a chance of a morning shower, but nothing too much around. So really Friday's the best chance of getting some shower and storm activity about.
All right, Dean, thank you very much indeed for that. A low of 17 degrees overnight, a dry day tomorrow for Tuesday, at top of 32. Now, we've got a phone call for you to take, Patti, before you go.
Okay.
But I do want to ask about your magazine, or Yours magazine, which you're featuring.
That's right. Well, it's a magazine that I don't really know much about. It's associated with Women's Day, I think, and they asked me would I do a story for them, and I did. And there's a cover shot, and there's a story inside. So
Good.
I nearly died. I went to buy the new idea and Woman's Day, and boom, there it was. You always get a bit of a worry,
Oh,
don't
you've
you?
had so many front covers over the years.
Oh, not like this. This was sort of
good.
a bit of a shock, but
We'll watch out for
yeah,
yours.
there you go. So it's a nice story, though. I'm pleased
Now-
with the story.
Just before we leave you, Facebook, that's moving along very well for you.
Well, no, well, it's fun. I don't know much about it. I never answer any of the questions people ask me, but I just like to put little bits on, and I think it makes you feel good. And people like the fact that you're sharing a little bit of your everyday life. And, you know, Bert had a bit of a day in the pool the other day, which I took a shot, and I don't think he was that thrilled that I put it on Facebook. But
is it the real Patti Newton? Other people were purporting to be you in the past, weren't they?
I know, but no, I do have a Facebook now, and
I know you asked me to
Instagram.
be your friend. I saw it on my iPad.
I did.
Now, speaking of it, I believe he went to see the best show at the Arts Centre.
Well, do you know, the Arts Centre, I did a show there, remember, not so long ago, and at Hamer Hall, and then Bert did a wonderful tribute show to Alan Zavod.
Oh,
Do you
yes,
remember
yes.
Alan Zavod?
Very well.
He's not been very well at all, and they did a wonderful show. He did a wonderful tribute to him with Jack Thompson. And while he was there, he noticed that the Illusionists were going to be on.
Oh.
And it was on last year, but he was doing Greece at the time and couldn't get there because Sam's very into magic, my grandson. And so when he went to do the Alan Zavod show, it was a symphony orchestra. It was beautiful. It was an environmentally orchestra, and it was wonderfully done. And he noticed that this show was back. So I said, well, I'll get you some tickets. So he took Sam for his birthday to see this show. It was the best. Now, this is a big rap. One of the best shows that Bert has ever seen in his life.
Wow.
And there was a guy that did this humour, all the comedy, and he said, he's everything that I dreamed to be.
Oh, how wonderful.
And it was just wonderful, and they both loved it. It's finished now, so I'm not really giving it a plug or anything because it's over. But I was just thinking, you two and you, Bruce, with your grandchildren would have loved it.
Sam.
And there was a wonderful man. His name is Lawson, and he was on Big Brother.
Yeah.
And he used to do this thing called magic, because he was a magician. And he was there. And I drove them, and I could have gone, but I thought it was better to have Bert and his grandson go somewhere together on their own.
Beautiful.
So I sat in the foyer, and I was talking to this Lawson and a couple of the other guys that were involved in the show. And they were such great young men that you sort of think, you know, I'm so pleased this show has been so successful.
Yes.
They were English people, an American, I think. And it was just but I just thought that was such a good rap to think that they both had the best day.
But more than
different
that,
age groups.
But they shared it together.
They
I
did.
think that's
And it'll
lovely.
be a memory he'll have for a long time.
Of course. Now, look, before we go, Margaret of Hampton Park's waiting to have a word to you, Patti.
Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Patti.
How you going?
Good. I became a great-great-grandmother yesterday.
A great-great-grandmother.
Margaret.
Yeah,
Great.
a little boy, my darling Talia, my great-granddaughter, had a little boy, 7 pound 4.
Wow, that's a good weight. And what did they call him?
Elliot Christopher.
Elliot
Beautiful
Christopher.
name.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
so having 5 generations. And my sister went to school with you, Patti, a grade ahead of you.
Did she? Where did she go? The Good Shepherd Convent?
Yes, yeah.
At St.
I think you
Anthony's?
met her well up the time I spoke to you at the Crown.
Oh,
And
right.
we've lost her now. So
Oh, that's
but
sad.
having 5 generations is I haven't seen him yet because I've had a bug.
Oh,
I
have
see him
you?
on the computer.
Oh, isn't that great? So where is he?
At
In
Frankston.
Melbourne?
At Frankston.
Oh,
Hospital.
okay.
He'll be home in a few days.
Well,
so I'll
that'll be
go.
a day to remember when you
Yes.
see him.
I've been through grandchildren, great-grandchildren, now great-great.
Well, I hope I get the opportunity to do that.
No.
Thank
He
you
was
very
due
much.
about when your baby's due, but he came early.
Oh, there you go. Well, see, they do that. They make up their own minds, don't they?
Yes. Okay, darling.
Nothing's a certainty.
Margaret, thank you for ringing in. We're going to send you a Bataki mini easy cut ham.
Oh, lovely.
Bataki, simply the best. Congratulating you on that that wonderful arrival of that beautiful baby.
I know how you love your grandchildren so much.
Oh, they're my world.
Congratulations, Margaret.
Thank you.
Margaret, congratulations. And hold on now for Bianca. We'll organise that ham. Hope to see you again soon in the flesh.
Look, I think I'm used to Mondays. I'm coming in to see you next Monday. I can't keep away.
Good on you, darling. You lovely thing. Patti Newton, always very, very welcome, and thank you for being part of Nightline.
Oh, thank you for making me feel so welcome.
Feel free to bring Bert in one night as well.
Good on you, Patti. 14 passes.
And your calls are welcome on 96900 693.
Chris, good evening.
Bruce and Phil, how are you?
Yes, thanks for waiting on, Chris.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I actually was waiting 2 hours and 40 minutes by the phone for Tommy Elliott's producer to ring me back because 20 past 3, 20 minutes after you started the show, I tried to make a very good initiative on his program, but they said that there might not be enough time to get me on the radio, and I waited right through to 6 o'clock for a return call, but it wasn't to be. So, yeah, it's just it's getting hard to get accessible time at any stage on the radio now.
We're not responsible for his show. You're always welcome on our show.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's just that I'm just hoping there's no tennis on the radio after the cricket stops.
Well, we all are, yeah.
Yeah. I just before Christmas, a lady who knows me as Chris of Broadmeadows on the radio from my community centre in Fitzroy, and she lives in Fitzroy, gave me a Christmas card, and she always says hello to me, but I think she's a bit shy because, you know, she has a big glow in her eyes when she says hello to me, and she just sort of shudders a bit, and I thought she was nervous of me. So I sent her on Friday, and I said, look, thanks for that Christmas card, but I'm sorry, and her name's Suzanne, I think it is. I said, I'm sorry I didn't get you a card, but can I take you out for coffee? And she was rapt. Yeah, and
you made a new friend.
Yeah, and I'm not reading anything into it, Phil, beyond a cup of coffee, you know, because I'll be respectful of her space, and she may only want to meet me for the safety of the community centre, because people go there for delicate reasons. But if there's something more than that, well, you know, it could be something to look at. But until then, I'm not looking beyond. You know, maybe next week when I've got a lot more money than what I have on me today, I might take her out for a meal if she wants to. But can I also say, in 1979, I got my first job of probably about 15 jobs that I worked for, you know, sort of months there, 15 months there, 12 months there type thing over the years. I was working at Mitty's News Agency, where I still see one of the original business partners. One of them passed away in 2009, Neville Lyons, and he was a lovely mate and actually went to school with my father just by coincidence. Right. And I was selling papers and magazines for 18 months, and the Melbourne Cup book the day before the Melbourne Cup each year. And I was on the corner, you know, on the Sun News Victoria, the Age, the Australian, the Financial Review, and all the magazines, the Chinese Women's Weekly, Chinese cookbooks and that. And people would have known me as Paperboy Chris, including Dolly Lindrum, the daughter of our greatest ever world champion beard player, Walter Lindrum. But I used to go down to Lindrum's lot. But you would have heard me saying like this: Harold, read all about it, Harold. And then, I got after 18 months, I decided to go into a general workforce, and I worked at Bellworth Hosiery, where they made Bell socks before they got boiled up by Holproof. But I was also working at the footy on the weekends at the Gasometer at Arden Street, Windy Hill, Princess Park, and you would have heard me singing out this with my big tray with a big thing around my neck. So drinks, lollies, ice cream, and potato chips.
I think we're all brought up all those wonderful cries. The catch cries by the Herald boys.
Yeah, good memories, Chris, thanks.
Now, Julie of St Kilda, congratulations, Julie. Are you there?
I am there. Thank you very much.
You're a winner. You want a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination in Australia, thanks to Tiger Air, flying from the new Terminal 4 at Melbourne International Airport.
Where would you like to go, Julie?
Oh, I would love to go to Sydney to see the boyfriend's grandchildren.
Oh, how lovely.
You've won the double pass.
The boyfriend, the boyfriend, hang on, the boyfriend's grandchildren. What's the connection there?
Well, they're like my grandchildren too, but we're not, yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. Now you
I
can.
haven't seen them for a while, so
Yeah,
it'd
well,
be nice to see them.
You could have chosen Adelaide, Brisbane, Cairns, Coffs Harbour, Darwin, Gold Coast, Hobart, Melbourne, Perth, Sydney, or the Whitsunday Coast, and you've selected Sydney, and you're in the barrel for the big one.
Listen, in 2 weeks' time,
Have a listen.
in 2 weeks, one of you will win return airfares and 1 week's accommodation for a whole family at the Hotel Mercure Bali Legion, thanks to Tiger Air, who will fly direct from Melbourne to Bali from the 23rd of March. Julie.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Tiger Air.
All right, Julie, hold the line, please. And, of course, we're on tomorrow night, and when you hear that song from Lulu...
Yeah, we'll do it twice a night for the next 2 weeks, folks. Plenty of chances.
When you hear the song...
And the special number, 86673601.
So we've got a couple of winners tonight, more winners tomorrow, 25 minutes past 11. Okay, let's go to Gail. Where are you, Gail?
I'm up on the Murray River, and I've had to turn my computer off because it's the only way I can get use, guys. So, yeah, I get use on the computer all the time. But I just enjoyed that wonderful interview you had with Patti Newton. And I think you guys are just fabulous with the way you interview people.
So is she, though.
And I enjoyed it so much.
She's beautiful.
No, I should have been in bed like 2 hours ago, but I just had to listen, and you did an absolutely wonderful job.
Now, Gail, you're on the Murray. Are you on holiday, or you got a house up there?
No, I've got a house up here. I've got 3 acres of garden. I came up here to retire, you know, and I work harder than I ever worked in all my life. But, yeah, it's okay.
Where are you near, a Chuka or?
Katunga.
Oh, beautiful.
And do you have a boat of your own?
Beautiful.
No, I haven't got a boat.
Yeah, I took
I've got lots of ducks,
I took a
but I haven't got a boat.
I took a ferry up the Murray. I'll never forget it this time last year.
Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes from the river.
Yeah, how lovely for you. Watch out for falling gum trees, won't you, Gail?
Oh, don't talk about that. Last week we had a storm come through, and the gum tree fell down on the water tank, and the water tank fell down on the bore, and the bore went out, and so now the insurance company hates me.
Oh, I have to say, how boring.
How boring.
Just pour the beer.
All right, Gail, good talking to you.
Okay, darlings, and it was the most wonderful interview that you did with Patti.
Gail,
it was fabulous.
Gail, little present, a Bataki mini easy cut ham for you.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Lovely Bataki and eggs. Wouldn't that be gorgeous in the morning?
Send you some eggs.
Simply the best.
All right, Gail, take care.
All right, darlings, and I love you.
Okay, now, hold on for Bianca, please. She'll just be a minute, and then straight on to you. Chris, good evening.
Hello, Bruce and Phil.
G'day, Chris. G'day, June.
Thanks, Phil. She's picking up a little bit, and I hope you got a letter.
Yes, I did. I'm thrilled to get that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Chris.
When a couple of sayings. When man has come to the turnstiles of night, all the creeds in the world seem to him wonderfully alike and colourless. Rudyard Kipling.
What does that mean?
It means you're at peace with everybody and yourself included, I guess, at the time of your leaving this place.
Oh, right, good.
Thanks, very cheerful.
And another one which I might put a different spin on is Shakespeare said, tea is the mind that makes the body rich. So I'm going to drink lots of Dilmar booze. Do try it.
Do try
All right, Chris.
Okay. You want a song? Please release me, let me go.
No, thanks. You.
Bruce, a bit sad to see Masters Hardware going under after all this time.
Well, not after all this time. It seems to me it was only about a year to 18 months.
I think we've been around about 3 years.
Oh, well, 18 months.
But however, I'd love to have some calls. Why do you prefer to shop at Bunnings? Why don't you go to Masters?
It's a shame because it had everything going for it. It would sell stoves and cupboards. Yeah. It was almost like a marketing, merchandising Myer emporium for hardware.
But did we need another hardware store?
Well, we didn't, obviously, did we?
No, obviously we didn't. So, but I'd like to know why the Masters car parks are deserted. deserted, but the Bunnings car parks are full.
What is that secret of Bunnings? It's an amazing thing. You walk into Bunnings, and you're speaking to people who they seem to know exactly where you're going, what you want, and how to help you.
Probably help that they got started so many years earlier.
Well,
they had the edge on the others.
Of course, that comes into it.
You know, I just don't think there was ever room for masters, and that's been proven true.
And what have you found? The marketers, the retailers that really do well, they virtually jump over the counter to help you, and are still in business and have been that way for 50 years. What is their secret?
I'd like to have shares in Aldi. Everybody's gravitating to Aldi stores.
Amazing place, amazing.
Wonderful, and every week they have specials on electrical goods and wheelbarrows and...
What's the do-it-yourself hardware joint? What's that? Another great...
You talk about IKEA, where you build your own furniture.
Marvellous.
Can't go. Office Works still another success story. There are certain places you just can't go wrong.
And any competition that comes along and says, "Oh, we'll take them on," hasn't a hope in hell.
No, you're very brave.
There you are.
Jeff might have an opinion.
Well, we will go to Jeff in a moment, but right now, look at the weather. A low of 17 degrees overnight, a mild night rolling in for Melbourne, or a mild morning. Tuesday's weather dry and a high of 32 degrees.
Okay, Jeff, good evening to you.
Yeah, good old Jeff.
Oh, g'day, Bruce and Phil. Yeah, look, Bunnings, I mean, it's one of those shops, isn't it? You go in there and you might go in to buy a hose fitting and you'll come out with $100 worth of other things.
Exactly.
Yes.
I actually went in today to buy a torch that I'd seen and ended up coming out there with a few hose fittings, actually.
Yes, you would.
But yeah, Masters, I went into Masters and I just found the layout, and they seem to have what I'd consider sort of more white goodsy type things. Do you know what I mean? The bigger appliances and stuff. So it just didn't grab me. And as you were alluding to, Bruce, in Bunnings, they've got an awful lot of mature people who are like ex-tradies and stuff that like. And they just, you'll go in there and you might be a bit of an opposite to change something, a tap or something, and somebody who's a wealth of experience will take the time to explain what they need and how to do it. So I think they've really cornered the market with what they've got in there and their whole attitude to the business.
Yeah, I think you're right,
true.
Jeff. Yeah, they've got the edge on Masters, yes.
Well, they've clearly got that now, haven't they? Phil? That's been proven.
Clearly, absolutely.
All right, Jeff, good call, thanks.
No.
I put McEwen's in my childhood as sort of the Bunnings, that they were the forerunners of all the hardware needs you'd ever need in setting up a house, for the home handyman, for the paint, whatever you need. McEwen's meant a million things.
That was their slogan. Yes, it was. Yeah, they were terrific, weren't they, in their time?
For records, Batman's. You couldn't go past Batman's downstairs in. Where was it?
The Burke Street, the basement there, underneath Hall's bookshop.
You know, they seem to be one-offs. There was no, well, it would have been competition, but they didn't seem to be. You thought records, go to town with Mum and Dad, I'll go to Batman's.
Yeah, good marketing, isn't it, when you just think of one place?
Yeah, yes.
And other places just
don't take off.
And there was
the bookshop. Let's give some ideas. The bookshop in Elizabeth Street.
Probably in those days, Angus and Robertson.
Angus and Robertson. There was no one like them.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Tim the Toyman.
I know, one-offs.
Next to the Regent Theatre.
Yes.
In the little laneway.
That's right. Ruth, what's your idea?
Many more.
Hello, Ruth.
I was never a huge fan of any of these big type of places, and then someone took me to a Bunnings one day. And honestly, talk about friendliness, I couldn't get over how helpful and friendly they were. And then that's exactly what happened. You went in there to get a washer or something, and then you thought, oh, well, I may as well get the big size of glass cleaner or whatever. And the other thing about Bunnings is the sausage sizzle.
Oh, so wonderful.
The social cohesion that the sausage sizzle engenders is a lasting thing. I mean, it's something that it just puts you in a mindset. I say you can walk into a Bunnings midweek and come out and think, oh, hang on, is it Saturday or is it Sunday? It can transport you in a mindset that you just think, oh, yes, I'm doing my own little project and I'm looking into this. And you feel, the other thing you do is you feel empowered because you think, oh, look, I'll have a go at changing that battery on the fire alarm, you know, on the smoke sniffer or
Yes,
whatever.
it's been hanging out to be done for a year.
Yeah, I mean, mine is chipping in the background as we speak. I just imagine it's a cuckoo clock when it starts going like that.
Yes.
But no, truly, and a lady I heard on the radio one day, probably on 3AW, said if you want to fall in love, go to Bunnings. So that was interesting.
Why is that?
Cute boys, very, very cute boys helping you, and nice men offering to help you, which is also a nice, you know, you quite often get people
team, the assistants aren't good. Well, at his funeral, they actually got other people into work in the store for that day, and about 40 of them came to the funeral and formed a guard of honour for him to go past. And he'd had 15 happy years, and I know that the staff is trained beautifully, and they are there to help you if you want the correct lock or whatever. They are always there.
Helen, could we pay tribute to him with his name? He would probably be great.
Oh yes, maybe. His name was Laurie.
Laurie from the Safety Bleach store.
From Cranbourne.
From
the Cranbourne store. Yes, he was quite some fella.
Oh, they'd all know him and love him, I'm sure.
Yes, they did. Absolutely.
So
yes.
hold the line. We'll get you a beautiful Pancake Parlour voucher for you take your mates along to the Pancake Parlour. $50 voucher, open 24 hours at High Point, Doncaster and Northern East.
Oh, thank you, Bruce. That's very kind of you.
All right, dear. Hold on now,
Thank
Helen,
you.
and Bianca will be with you shortly. Just hang on.
The grocer Miller was bagging some early potatoes for me, and I noticed a small boy, delicate of bone and feature, ragged but clean, hungrily filling a basket of freshly picked green peas. I paid for my potatoes, but was also drawn to the display of fresh green peas. I'm a pushover for cream peas and new potatoes, and pondering the peas, I couldn't help overhearing the conversation between the grocer, Mr. Miller, and the ragged boy. Hello, Barry. How are you today? Hello, Mr. Miller. I'm fine. Just admiring them peas. Sure look good. Oh, they are good, Barry. How's your mother? Oh, she's fine. She's getting stronger all the time. Good. Is there anything I can help you with? No, I'm just looking at those peas. They look good. Or would you like to take some home? Oh, no, sir. I've got no money to pay. Well, what have you got to trade for those peas? Well, all I've got is a prize marble. Well, let's see it. Yes, it's dandy. I can see that it's good, but the only thing is, the one you've got is blue, and I sort of go for red marbles. Do you have a red one at home? Oh, not exactly, said the boy, but almost. Well, tell you what I'll do, he told the fella. Take this sack of peas home with you, and the next trip this way, let me have a look at that red marble of yours. Sure will. Thanks, Mr. Miller. Mrs. Miller, who was standing nearby, came over to help me, and with a smile she said, there are two other boys like him in our community. All three are very poor. Jim loves to bargain with them for peas, apples, tomatoes, or whatever. And when they come back with their red marbles, and they always do, he decides he doesn't like red after all, and he sends them home with a bag of produce for the green marble or the orange one. I left the stand smiling to myself, impressed with this man, and a short time later I moved to Colorado, but never forgot the story of this man, the boys, and their bartering. Several years went by, each more rapid than the previous one. Just recently I had occasion to visit some old friends in that Idaho community, and while I was there I learned that Mr. Miller had died. They were having his viewing that evening, and knowing my friends wanted to go, I agreed to accompany them. On arrival at the mortuary, we fell in line to meet the relatives of the deceased and to offer whatever words of comfort we could. Ahead of us in line were three young men. One was in army uniform, the other two wore nice haircuts, dark suits, and white shirts, all very professional looking. They approached Mrs. Miller, standing composed and smiling by her husband's casket. Each of the young men hugged her, kissed her on the cheek, spoke briefly to her, and moved on to the casket. Her misty light blue eyes followed them as one by one each young man stopped briefly and placed his own warm hand over the cold, pale hand in the casket. Each left the mortuary awkwardly, wiping his eyes. Our turn came to meet Mrs. Miller, and I told her who I was and mentioned the story she had told me about the marbles. With her eyes glistening, she took my hand and led me to the casket. Those three young men who just left were the boys I told you about. They just told me how they appreciated the things Jim traded them. Now at last, when Jim could not change his mind over colour or size, they came to pay their debt. We've never had a great deal of wealth in this world, she confided, but right now Jim would consider himself the richest man in Idaho. And with loving gentleness, she lifted the lifeless fingers of her deceased husband. Resting underneath were 3 exquisitely shined red marbles.
Copyright restricts distribution of this piece by any means of duplication.
Well, thank you all for making tonight's Nightline one well and truly out of the box.
Yeah, very special having both Patti and Peter Hitchener in.
Peter Hitchener, Patti Newton, very, very good guests, and so were your calls too. It was rather lovely.
And here's a surprise. Andrew McLaren returns to Nightline later this week.
Okay, we're saying goodnight to you all. In the meantime, we're looking at Melbourne's weather tomorrow. Dry with a low of 17 degrees. Top of 32. We'll be opening the floodgates for Australia overnight with Luke Boner after midnight.
Thank you, Bianca Johnson, for your support tonight.
Yeah, very good going, Bianca. And another big prize tomorrow from our friends at
a Tiger Air.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Good night, Samuel, Carter, Amelia, Emily, Charlotte, Sweet Ella Grace, little William Oliver, and Sophia Grace. I'm Bruce Mansfield.
I'm Phil. Off to the tennis tomorrow, Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
We might go together. See you in Garden Court.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, it would be marvellous, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be great fun. Catch you tomorrow night, folks.
Oh, yes, folks. That's it. That's the way she went today.